it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I am so excited to be filming this video because I am setting up my budget planner for 2022. So this is the budget planner I always use. It's the same basic stuff. The only thing that changes inside are the printables that I use on a monthly basis. And so I'm gonna change this up a little bit, but for the most part it's staying as is. So here's what I use for my budget planner. I have metal Happy Planner discs. These are in rose gold. The cover is also from Happy Planner. I believe this cover came off of one of the Happy Notes. It is all 8.5 by 11. I like to print out my printables letter size, so it's just like a typical computer sheet of paper. It's got this really beautiful "Don't Stop Until You're Proud" message on it in this gorgeous pink. That's all staying the same. I'm not changing anything up there. I considered flipping the cover around so that this design was on the outside. I could always do that later on, but for now I think I'm just going to leave this right as it is. First thing I have in here is a little card with my color coding system. This is the color coding system I was using back around July, as you can see from my little 4th of July card. I think I'm going to be updating this, changing things up for the new year, so I'm not going to need this anymore. One of the things that I did was I purchased these really beautiful dividers from, oh my gosh, what was the brand? Is it the Tool brand? I don't know. I will try to remember to link the haul that I did on all of the planner goodies that I purchased for 2022. I talked about the dividers in that haul. There are 5 dividers, and what I think I want to use these dividers for are this month, last month, I don't know. Now I'm reconsidering. This is part of the reason I wanted to film this video, because I really have to decide what I want to do. I for sure want to have a space to include last month's budget so that I have something to reference. Obviously, I want a place for this month. I want a place for my savings challenges. I'm not sure what else, but we're going to kind of figure it out as we go. In here, before this thing here, this divider, I have November, so I'm not going to need November pages in here because I will have December and that'll be my reference point. So I'm just going to really quickly pull out everything for November, so I'm not going to need that. So those I can set off to the side. And then I have some other pages in here that I don't need. Income tracker I need to leave in here because I'm still working on that for my business, and that's what that is for. These are just some planning pages that I'm not going to need, so I can take those out. And then we move into December, right? Yes. So I've got December printables in here, and I just want to make sure that there's nothing kind of between these pages that I don't need in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave those in because obviously we're still in December. I'm going to need those, and I'm going to leave them in for January as well, so I have, like I said, a reference so I can flip back and see did I pay for my electric bill last month, or what did I spend on food, or that sort of thing. And then I don't need this notes page, so I can get rid of that. What else do I have in here? I have my high-low temperature savings challenge, which I'm still working on for December, so that can stay, but I am going to move it. So there's that. I've got some notes that I was actually using for my goal setting, and I'm not going to be using that anymore, so I can take that out. I do already have some January printables from my Etsy shop in here. I set this up right when I released those new releases, but I printed out a metric ton of other things that I want to put in here for January as well. Things that I designed for myself that aren't available yet, but if somebody is interested in having these printables, I can always list them in my shop. We'll go over those kind of momentarily, but there's some things in here that I don't know if I'm going to be using, so I'm definitely going to be changing things up in January in terms of my budget. So I'm still going to use the January cover page, obviously, and this is my January design, by the way. I have the blue chevron in both dated and undated worksheets, so if you like this design and you like my worksheets, you can check out my Etsy shop. I have my calendar in here, which I am, of course, going to use. I'll be putting my paydays in here and my bills. Still going to be using the January overview. Probably still need the notes page, though I may rearrange this later. Something I'm going to be using, or at least I'm going to attempt to use in January, is this new hybrid budget method that I kind of made up for myself and created, where the whole month's worth of budgeting is on just this 2-page spread. So what I was doing previously was doing my budgets by paycheck, and I was doing a paycheck budget worksheet and a cash breakdown worksheet for each month, or for each paycheck in the month. I may end up going back to this, so I'm not going to get rid of these pages, but as of right now, at the time that I'm filming this, I don't plan to budget this way in the new year. Never say never. I might try this for a couple of weeks and absolutely hate it and decide I want to go back to what I'm familiar with. This is the budget method I've been doing for the last couple of years, but as I've sort of progressed through my budget journey, I kind of know what works, I know what doesn't, and there's some things that I've been doing with my paycheck budgets that I've been doing really just for the sake of my YouTube videos, and it's not necessarily what serves me best. Like, I've been doing a lot of things with cash envelopes and cash stuffing videos because so many of you love the cash stuffing videos, but it doesn't really serve me best to do some of the categories in cash. So I'm just not going to do them in 2022 in cash. I've made up my mind that I really have to focus on what works best for me, even if it means that fewer people are watching my videos and you guys don't get as much out of it. This is my real life budget that I'm showing here in my videos. I don't make it up just for content's sake. And so I have to do what works best for my overall budget. So that, and focusing on filling my sinking funds just once a month rather than every week. So, and likewise paying extra debt just once a month rather than every week. So if I were to just use this paycheck budget worksheet, the only thing I'd really be filling in is the checking section, and the rest of this would just be blank, and I don't need to kill trees and waste paper if that's all I'm going to be using. So I already have these here printed and ready to go if I change my mind, but I'm going to try this. So the way that this is going to work, and I did show this in a vlog, so if you feel like you're having deja vu, it's probably because you heard me talk about this in one of my Vlogmas vlogs. I'm going to be breaking down everything overall for the month here, so all of my bills, all of my expenses, everything that I plan to come in and go out for the month is going to be here in this column. But then I'm going to break those things down further by week here, and I have a space for 5 weeks. So, you know, I'm going to put overall for the month for groceries, I want to budget $800 or $1,000 or whatever it is. And then how much do I want to break it down each week. So the plan is to spend $800 overall. If there's 4 weeks in the month, then I know that I want to do $200 per week. And then as the month progresses, I can change or shift gears if I need to. So for example, if I'm going to stick with the budget example because that's where we're at, that's what's been working. If I have $800 for groceries, but I mess up and I spend $400 in the first week, that's okay. I just need to shift my expectations for the upcoming weeks. So, you know, if I spent $400 here, then I know that I only have $400 left to get me through these weeks, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be the same thing with, you know, gas money and spending money and all of that. I'm going to have a total overall that I'm trying to stay within for the month, and then I'm just going to break it down by week because we still get paid weekly. But I've just been thinking overall about my budget in terms of the month lately. It's just been how I've been doing it, so that's what I'm going to do. So this is for each week. There's a 5th week here if I need it. If not, I can use this for something else or just leave it blank. Then I have my sinking funds for the month. So what am I going to put into each of my sinking funds? What am I going to put into my savings? This one I originally had set up as miscellaneous, but I think I'm actually going to put my debt payments here. So that's kind of overall what I'm thinking about trying. I'll just have this 1 2-page spread to come back to week after week for the entire month. And then I won't be using the January budget. I will be using the sinking funds and transaction log. This will be kind of set up with how much we added, how much we spent, same as always. This isn't changing. Won't be using the paycheck budgets, I don't think, but again, never say never. But I will be using an expense tracker for each week to keep track of my spending and if I'm sticking to my goals. So realistically, I can pull out some of these because they are back to back, so I can't pull them all out. Like I said, I had a totally different plan when I originally set this up. And then I changed my mind, which is fine. You're totally able to do that. Personal finance is personal. So this I'm just going to set aside. I'm not going to throw it away because I might still use it, but I don't need it in here right now. I've got my expense trackers. And then, like I said, I have a whole group of printables to add. So here's what I need to add into my budget planner today. First of all, I have the $1,000 savings challenge from Hassle Free Savings. In 2022, I plan to try to focus on savings challenges again. And this is one of the ones that I want to do, so I went ahead and printed this out. I also printed out a spending comparison. This is something that I made just for me. It's not available in my Etsy shop yet, but if you would like it to be, if you think this is something that would help you in your budget journey, let me know. I can list it. It's just a place for me to compare last month's spending with this month's spending. So in whatever category, in food, last month I spent $1,000, this month I spent $800, and it just gives me an idea month over month of how things compare. And if I spent more this month, it'll give me a chance to really think about why I spent more, if it was justified, or if I've just kind of let go of my rigidity with my budget. And it's just kind of a tool that I plan to use overall to help me compare and contrast. Am I doing what I need to be doing for the budget? I also printed out an income tracker. This is available in my Etsy shop. I will link it down below, as well as all of my other printables that I talk about here if they're available. This is a worksheet I'm just going to be using in January to track, you know, what income is coming in from myself, from my husband, any miscellaneous income, just to give a feel overall of where the money's coming from. So that I need to punch and put in. What else do I have here? I have a debt tracker. This is another thing that I created for myself. It's not listed yet, but if you think you might like to use it, let me know and I will list it. I have a feeling I'm going to be starting out 2022 with a total of 4 cards that have balances on them. That was not what I wanted. You guys know that I talked a lot about wanting to start 2022 with just 1 credit card with a balance, but it didn't happen. You guys know, if you watched the video where I talked about it, I messed up a lot in December. We backslid quite a bit, and that's fine. It is what it is, but now we're kind of paying the piper, right? We have 4 debts we're going to have to tackle in 2022. And so I created 4 debt trackers to track my progress on those 4 credit cards. In addition to those credit cards, we do have other debt. We have a car payment, we have a camper payment. I might do debt trackers for those as well, but to start out with, I just have a debt tracker for each of those 4 credit cards. And in addition to that, I also have, where are the pages that I printed to go with these? Here. Brand new, fresh start credit card trackers from Debt Free Charts. So my idea then is to have this be a 2-page spread for each of my debts. So this is the debt tracker for my Chase card. This is the chart. We're starting fresh in 2022 with whatever that balance is. That'll be our starting point, and we'll just work it out, you know? So there is a credit card tracker to go with each of my debt trackers. So that's that. All of this I need to pull in my punch and get punched and ready to go. That'll give me a good head start. And obviously this won't necessarily just be for January. I did use the January chevron print, but it's undated. It can be used all throughout the year, and likely that's what I will do. I will keep coming back to this debt tracker over and over again until the debt is paid off. And if I fill up all these lines with payments, then I'll print out a new one. On this debt tracker, I left this big open space here for the transaction. That way I can write in my payments here, but also realistically, sometimes you use the card. So I also left space to write in any spending that happens on that card. And we'll just kind of color in the chart as we go and make progress, and it'll all be good to go. Then I have my business budget and expense tracker I want to add in. This is another one of these new budget worksheets I don't have available in my Etsy shop yet, but if you want it, let me know. And just a typical regular expense tracker that I'm going to put along with it so that I can track my business expenses. I want to be better about keeping track of everything that has to do with my business and keeping my business budget separate from my personal budget. That's something I've really struggled with in the past. And yeah, I think that's everything that I need to get put in here. So let me just make sure that everything is good to go. I have my high-low temperature savings challenge for the 52 weeks. So that I'm going to keep in here because I'm going to be using this in 2022. I don't need this one, so I can take this out. And I also have this one, which is the monthly, which I don't think I'm going to use, so I can take that out as well. Again, not getting rid of these, just kind of setting them to the side. And then I have all of my various charts and trackers and things that I have in here that I have used in the past that I'm probably not going to continue to use. I don't need to keep this Chase one because I'm going to start fresh in 2022 with a new one for Chase. But the question becomes, do I want to keep these in here to look back on for motivation? Probably not this one since it's not paid off, but the ones that I have that are paid off I might keep in here. And I need to be careful and make sure that I'm not showing any numbers that I don't need to be showing. So This is old. I don't need this. Savopoly is another savings challenge I'm considering doing in 2022, but if I decide to do that, I will print a fresh page, so I don't need this one. I've already printed a fresh 52-week savings tracker. I don't need the playing card savings challenge, so that can go. I think I'm going to leave in the charts that I've already filled out just so I can flip back and look at how far I've come. So in 2021, we did pay off this Lowe's card. I want to be able to look back on that. Also in 2021, we paid off Amazon. I want to be able to look back on that. This I never finished, so that can come out of there. This can come out of here. My YouTube income I won't need. These are some other printables that I never used. Discover we paid off in 2021. We paid off so much debt in 2021. I know the end of 2021 sort of has fallen apart and not been the best, but we did really good for a while. Christmas of 2020, I probably don't need to keep this one. Capital One we paid off in 2020. Visa we paid off in 2020. We paid off our mortgage in 2020. So we've had a lot of really big wins over the last couple of years. Washer and dryer in 2020. These are my 2020 wins. If you guys want to see a 2021 wins video where I talk about all of our big accomplishments in 2021 regarding our budget, let me know. Don't need these. Don't need these. These are all things I don't need to have. And then I just have some stickers here in the back. I don't think I'm going to be tracking no spends in 2022 because it's just really not relevant right now to my journey. Okay, so now that I have everything out, I can sort of start punching things and getting things put in and organized. Okay, so I've gone ahead and taken everything out except for my dividers and my December pages. So what I think I want to do is use my label maker to label these dividers. And I want to have one for last month. And I'm doing it this way because I only have the 5 dividers and I don't want to put the actual month on there because then I won't have enough for the full year. So I'm going to have one that says last month, one that says this month, one that says next month, charts, and savings challenges. I think that's what I want to do, and I can always change these up later on. And I don't want to put the actual month on there because then I won't have enough for the full year. So I'm going to have one that says last month, one that says this month, one that says next month, charts, and savings challenges. I think that's what I want to do, and I can always change these up later on. So this one says last month. So excited that I found my label maker. Can't see that one super well because of the clear label tape, but that's fine. I don't have any white label tape right now. So this is where I will put my January items in then, and this is where I want to start punching things and getting things laid out. So some of these pages are already punched, so we're going to start, of course, with the January title page. And then we have the January calendar. I have my January dashboard. Then I have my January hybrid budget. I don't know if this is the order I want these in or not, but I'm just going to kind of get them in there. I can always move them around. I'm going to need my business budget. So I need to get that punched, and I'm going to use my big old arc punch for that. And my expense tracker that goes with my business budget also needs to be punched. Okay, obviously I need to track the income before I can budget it. I'll stick that here. Okay, so I ended up speeding through a lot of that because there was a lot of hemming and hawing and back and forth and trying to decide exactly what I wanted to do. For now, this is how I've got my budget planner set up for 2022. The brilliant thing about the disc-bound system is I can add new things, I can take things out, I can move things around, no problem. So just because I have it set up like this right now doesn't mean that's how it'll stay. It's probably going to change around a lot over the course of the next couple of weeks while I prepare for 2022, but here's my starting place. So, the first thing that I put in here are my debt tracker and my credit card tracker for the 4 credit cards that I'm going to be tackling in 2022. Before all of this, I will likely have some sort of 2022 financial goals page. I will probably have maybe those 2021 wins I talked about, maybe like a pretty cover page, but I haven't created any of those things yet. So for now, this is where we're starting. And I decided to put these here in the front rather than in the back with the other like completed charts, because I thought it would be interesting to have the very first thing I see when I open my planner be these big goals that I'm working on. So as I fill these charts in and they get full and things get paid off, I will then shift them to the back with the other charts. But for now, they're front and center. Very first thing to remind me of why I'm doing this. Getting these cards paid down is my #1 priority for 2022. So I have my tracker where I can keep track of, how much we're paying to each card. And then I have my visual reminder here with the charts. In 2020 and in 2021, what I did was I just focused on one card at a time and filled in the chart to completion before starting a new chart. But I think for 2022, I want to start with all of the charts and their balances. Still probably focus on one card at a time that gets the most attention. But even like if I make a minimum payment and I pay this second card down by $20, color that in and celebrate that. So because I didn't print these back to back, there is some blank pages in between. I will either use these for just jotting down notes or whatever, or I will use like an adhesive roller and bind them together so that it's, there's not blank pages in between. For now, there's blank pages in between because I just didn't print them back to back because I wasn't sure what order I wanted things to be in. So those are the 4 credit cards, and then if I do end up making charts for my camper or my car, I can put those in there as well. Then I have a place for last month, And I hemmed and hawed about this as well. Did I want to put last month before the current month, because that's how it happens chronologically, or did I want to have this month first and then last month towards the back to reference? For now, I put last month first. It may change, probably will change. So I just labeled this with my little label maker, and then I have all of my December pages in here. Then I have this month, and this is where I have my January pages, and this is the order that I put things in. Again, for now, it will probably change, but I have my cover page. Then I have my calendar where I will put all of my bills and paydays. Then I have my January dashboard where I will, you know, keep track of my credit score and my goals and everything. That hasn't changed. I have an income tracker here so I can keep track of all of the income that comes in the month. Then this is something I'm not using. It's just that it was on the back of this page that I do plan to use. So again, I will likely glue or adhesive roll or paper clip or something these two pages together, because I don't intend to use the January budget. I was using this previously for my business budget, but I have a separate printable that I made for that, so I don't need it anymore, so I will just zip those pages together. I have my sinking funds and transaction log for January, and this will just be where I keep track of how much I put into each sinking fund, how much I spent from each sinking fund, and so on. Then again, this is just remnants of an old system. I'm not going to be using this, but it's on the back of this transaction log, so pretend those are connected. And we're going right from the transaction log to the business budget. This is where I'll keep track of my Etsy and my YouTube income, as well as any other income I bring in from Jwhackers, my business here, as well as expenses. Then I have my January budget. This is my hybrid budget, so this is what I will come back to week after week to fill in and get an overall look at my January budget. This is remnants from an old system. Pretend you don't see that. Then we go right into expense trackers for each week in the month of January. Weekly check-in, which I don't know that I'm going to use this year, so we shall see. I may stick my I was gonna say I may stick my notes page in there, but I punched it on the wrong side, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I will use that weekly check-in, maybe not. I haven't decided. I know I'm going away from using a lot of cash in 2022, so we'll see. But then I have my notes, and at the end I have my spending comparison, where I can compare last month, so compare December to January and so on. After that comes my next month section. That's where I will plug in all of my February printables, which I have not designed yet. I just have not had time. Things have been crazy. I have savings challenges, so I have all of the savings challenges I'm going to be working on in the new year. I still need to print some more, but that's a good start. And then I have charts, all of the charts that I finished. I definitely had more charts than this at some point. I don't know what happened to them. I probably filed them into my filing system, so I might dig them back out and stick them in here so that, again, I have something to look back on for, you know, memory's sake, and when I'm needing motivation, see how far I've come, see why I'm doing this. But I like that I have those there in the back. So that's my budget planner for 2022, all set up and ready to get added to my planner stack. I will be doing a separate video on all of the planners I plan on using in 2022, this one included. It's a real skinny mini right now, but it's for sure gonna bulk up throughout the year. But I definitely think that just having 3 months of budget pages at a time works. So the previous month, the current month, and the next month. And that's how I'm going to plan to use this in the new year. But again, that might change. So be on the lookout for more videos for preparing for 2022 coming soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I'll see you next time. Bye!